It's so weird when I have company or I'm around somebody a lot of for days or something. Then I don't know if it gets stuck in my head or something, but I have to keep telling myself, "Oh, they're not here anymore. Oh, they're not here anymore. Oh, you're by yourself again." It's weird because I keep expecting someone to walk up or something. I don't know. It's weird. And another thing I saw this morning was this it is this old black guy, and I've seen him a couple times, so he must have a channel or something. He must be well known because he was being interviewed in this thing I saw, and he could have been an actor or something. But it was just kind of funny because the whole little clip was he was talking about that he smokes 4 packs a day and has for like, I don't know, 60 or 70 years or something. And the guy was saying, well, how did you get started smoking? And he was talking about in the movies, how the movies always made the hero smoking. The cool guy was always smoking. The white guy was always smoking. And he said that there was nobody who was getting fucked over who was smoking. And so he said that's how they mess with your head, you know? And it's true. It's exactly true what he was saying. That is exactly how they mess with your head to get you to want to be one of the cool guys. And they do it in every single thing. How they come up with keywords to use as trigger words, and the whole thing is so planned. I even saw this morning where it was, the thing is right now, most of the people who are sharing things are sharing stuff that a lot of us were sharing in 2020. So the people who are just really waking up to some of this stuff, it's like kind of a repeat of information. But you do find some new stuff. I mean, Judy Mikovits was really important to me in the beginning. She was speaking truth, and she's been out there just touring and touring. And, she's super interesting if you get a chance to listen to her. And, but I saw somebody sharing stuff about her. She's on tour or something, and she was on, what's that guy, Alex Jones' show. And that guy is funny. He's like a big bag of air or something. And he looks like he's just gonna have a stroke any second. He gets all worked up and he starts yelling and he turns all red. But I knew she wouldn't be very long. She's having the worst time. Hold on. Do you want to come in? I'm busy, honey. Don't just lay out here crying. If you want to come in, hurry up and come down. Okay, well, I'm shutting the door. My son-in-law was here, on the weekend. He's always doing work around here. And I thought, well, you could go up and clean the gutters or something. Because he's a roofer, he's not scared to get up on the roof, and I'm horrible with heights. And so but this flood that happened during the winter, that really kicked my porch's ass, and I didn't know there was so much damage. And so when I was waiting for them to come the other day, all of a sudden the porch was just really sinking down every time I stepped. So I was like, fuck, I better just block this off, because Stella likes to lay right there and she's just going to fall through and it's going to pull the fucking roof down off of the porch, because the porch kind of sticks out from the house. So the roof goes out, but it's all attached, and one part falls, how much of it does it pull? So, you have a big collapse on your hands right at the front door. And until I put in a back door, I don't have one. So it's my only way in and out. Unless I use a ladder and climb in a window out back. But anyways, so he started pulling all of that stuff apart and doing that and did this whole huge job. It's not even done yet. But he went in and just was redoing all that, taking out all of the rot and fixing it. And he found a ton of rocks under the porch. It was really getting me going on the rocks. But I've been doing the rocks for a couple years. It's just super exciting to see your vision come to life. That's what's really exciting. But when he was doing the porch, he put Stella a ramp. So she's just still getting used to it. But it's so much easier for her hips. It's crazy how just lifting her leg to climb up the stairs, how much that hurts her. So anyways, now I have a ramp out there for now. I think I'm going to put a ramp even when he comes and finishes it all, because there's more to do on it. I think I'm going to just keep a ramp always. because even if I'm renting this to, because there's it's for skiing in the winter. I mean, and then the ramp can be helpful if you break your leg and you have to use crutches. So, what the hell? But there was a couple more things I had seen on there that I had wanted to say. Oh, this one was so funny because it shows Joe, like whoever Joe is, but looks exactly like Joe, doddering fool walking around. But so he's at the airport. I'm not sure which city or state or whatever, but he gets out of an Uber. He's just drives up at the airport. Someone's filming this, and probably it could all be a setup just to leak this shit out, because everything is the absurdity is supposed to, click in and make us start thinking for ourselves. So some of the stuff is just so ridiculous. So he pulls up and gets out of this Uber, grabs his 2 bags, and then just walks into the airport, walks up to check in, and then just starts walking through the airport. And somebody's, luckily getting footage of this. But so a lot of people are sharing that, like, where's Secret Service? What is Joe carrying his own bags? And where's Air Force One? Yeah, where is it? Why is nobody living at the White House? It's so strange, isn't it? And they're no way gonna march in here with this, with the people having all of the things that they fear. And, if they even came in and started, trying to take over any towns or anything, I think that it would be, a big giant shootout for sure. And it just seems weird because it's just so much threatening us all the time. And threatening creates fear. It creates anxiety. It creates depression. It creates hopelessness and helplessness and all of those things that they're always trying to manufacture in this weirdo world they created. So I was thinking that when they... what the fuck was I saying? So they're creating... Oh, because I just heard again where it was... they said Putin, Kim Jong-un, and... I don't know, the CCP president or something, all said that they were going to attack us. And then, of course, the people who are into the government stuff, see, this is what happens when you have a weak government, and, all that bullshit. But I don't know. Is it just more threats? Is it just this nonstop threatening to keep us always so anxious? Because when the fuck is something going to happen besides Stella coming to the door? My nose is dripping crazy. I feel like I have so much to do today. It's so funny. The most smallest thing. That's another thing too. Like, I don't know if it's my brain or if it's just something in me changing. I don't know. But when I have some stuff to do, like I'm dog sitting next door, I have to go over there several times and let him out and feed him and all that, which her whole yard is just rocks everywhere. Oh my God, I just want to go in with a bucket and start filling my bucket with a bunch of rocks to go, because I feel like I've just got like a few gaps left. I'm going to keep building on it, but to get the full outline, the first outline or whatever, I feel like I don't need that many more. I want to just go take all of her rocks. I don't know what the hell with her yard. When they moved into that house, her husband's whatever those people are that use those big giant tractor things that create foundation. Can't remember what they're called, but excavators, I think they're called. And so he came in with this fucking machine and just started, trying to flatten out their thing. When I do my little tour, you'll see what I mean about it's super hilly, like, and like some people went in and clear cut their property. and then flattened it out, put in grass. It's very strange if you ask me. I'm going to move out into the woods and the mountains and cut down all the trees and put in grass because that's normal. But anyways, I'm trying to do more natural. But so when they moved in there, they didn't cut down all their trees, but they wanted to get their ground more level, I think, to put in something. Maybe they're going to put in grass. They do have one part that seems like it's trying to grow grass, but when they did it, oh my God, the boulders, like they have some rocks that are so freaking giant, these giant rocks all over there. They like lined it going up their driveway, you know. They had huge rocks. I haven't gone in and excavated. I'm sure I have some big rocks sitting around my yard. I'm sure if I went and dug up my whole yard, there's some, you know, I don't know if because they did that, because every time it rains, when I go outside, I love to go out because it's like a little gift from the heavens. These rocks just work their way up and just sitting on the soil like a little gift from the fairies. You can go around and collect them and put them in their spot. And but over there, like their whole yard is just rocks. So I don't know what the deal is, if they have more rocks or if he just made it so unstable he reached a part where there was so many rocks. Like I know that there's a huge rock underlay or something. That's why it's so fucking noisy with these damn construction people over there excavating, because they've got to be blowing through these giant rocks and digging them out, and it sounds like just explosions all day long. I can't imagine being a vet over here and having to go through this, because I'm not even a vet and it gives me PTSD, just as loud explosions all the time. And then it's nonstop with the fucking military planes going over us, which is like, what the hell? When in the hell is something gonna happen? It's like we're just being terrorized, you know, like in a movie when they can't just go in and kill somebody, they just got to torture them and terrorize them, kind of like what they do when they trying to get that stuff out of people's blood, you know, like when they're trying to, you know what I'm talking about. I just saw a clip somebody was sharing, and these people were super outraged, so everybody duets it or whatever and shows their outrage as they watch this video. And it is these young people, and they are, I don't know if they're saying they're rich or they are rich or they're known or something. I'm not sure. But they're filming it as he gets a transfusion that he is paying $20,000 for the chrome because he is. But then in the comments, some people were saying, oh, that's fake. He's making a joke or something. I don't know. I don't know the people. I'm not there. And I mean, I know there's people who are trying to get attention on things and doing it in a smart aleck way, because if you come at it in a serious way, you're just crazy conspiracy theorists, you know. They just, all they hear is wah, 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 wah. So sometimes using humor and coming through the back door is the way you can get stuff in to get people talking about something. So I don't know, but definitely people are talking. You know, people are aware. I mean, it's, to me, the conversations in 2020, you know, there was not as many of us and we were really getting called crazy. But now there's so many people looking at this information, sharing it, pulling up all sorts of stuff about all of it. So, you know, it's just more and more confirmation as to the madness. But, and it is definitely more and more confirmation of how many more people are waking up all the time, which is so good. Something else popped into my head while I was talking. I was like, oh, you gotta remember to talk about that. But when I was seeing last, I was in 20, when did he become president? Was it 2020? I don't know. I'm so confused now by time. But when he very first was, there was constantly people sharing footage. He's just out walking around. I saw him just out walking around downtown, no Secret Service. People were, hey, Joe, what are you doing? And he's just like, you know. I saw him in a parking lot with all of these people up on their patios on their little decks of their apartments, screaming down at him, and he's just standing down there with a couple of guys that look like Cuban cartel, and he's just standing down there talking to them, waving like he's super important or something, and they're all screaming it. They hate him and stuff like that. Like, that would never happen. There is no president that they would put out there and risk like that. It's like, the stuff is so absurd. I thought that the one at the airport, that was a good one. Getting out of an Uber, going and carrying your own bags up. One of the guys who I saw, because was these people duetting it, and he's like, "What is in the bags? You got money? You're on the run? What's going on?" But there was something else that had come into my head real quick that I had seen. It just seems like there's not really. It's like they're just stretching out this moment, stretching out all these moments to just create so much more fear and hostility and anger and depression. Like, if everybody is out to take us over, then make a move. Do something so we can start having something happen. We got to have some kind of action, not just this constant threatening. Like, why do you keep threatening that you're going to attack us and then nothing happens? I swear, I think it's all about the threats. There's just this constant threatening, just to keep pulling our attention, trying to wake people up. And, and then so much absurdity. So now those guys are all working together as a team just against us. Like, what do we have? What resources do we have that anybody wants? Land? Well, every single country is like 75% of their land is open. They don't need our land. What are they going to do with it? It's a lot of upkeep. What are you going to do with a giant mansion if you're all by yourself? What are you going to do? Hire somebody to keep the rooms clean so that you have all your giant space? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. It's just not logical. It makes way more sense to me because some of those people are on our side, and I think that they are trying to make threats to get people's attention, just to help people wake up, because it is such a process. I mean, when people are talking about things right now, we were talking about 2 years ago, and it's new information, and they're just so outraged, and they're just like, I think it shows like this is a slow process to get people to awaken. And that's what's most important, is to get the souls to awaken, because they've all been mind controlled. Just like that guy was talking about, how the smoke and the heroes were always the ones smoking. The cool guy, the guy that just went over and shot somebody or punched somebody in the face, went over and lit a cigarette. The guy who just banged it out with some hot chick, went over and lit a cigarette. They could just put it in your head. Oh, yeah, that's what the cool people do. Yeah, that's what the cool people do. And, it just came back again. It was about the cool people, the smoking, the movies, the way they set out like our heroes, and who the biggest thing I think that they do is they show us who to hate. They show us who's the stupid ass, who's not the good guy. They're constantly turning us against each other in these movies. That's what I think they do. Besides, implanting what's cool and what's not cool, they just create so much hate and getting us to, if someone's like that, that's what they're like. Oh, if they do this, that's what they're like. We do all of that in our own heads. We make it all make sense. We complete the story or something, and they use that against us. And I still have this thing. It's just like lingering in there. What the hell was I going to say about it? What was it? It just keeps flying through like fast, or I can't catch it. So many people still talking about the sky stuff. More and more sky stuff. Like, I saw a guy, the one kid who has that cool telescope that he's always showing stuff out in the sky, where it looked like that dancing, what was her name again? That symbol, that deity or whatever, and she's got all the arms and does that dance, and he showed the sun, and it had where it looked like that was in the sun. It was really cool looking. But yesterday I saw where he did footage, and so he walks outside, and so he shows the sky, and it's the same weird fucking sky. So many people have a fake sun, and so many people will still argue that it's a real sun, but you can tell. You can really, really tell the difference between the two. And but people just accept it because it's a light up in the sky and it's hot, so it must be the sun. What are you talking about? But so he went out and he looked up at the clouds, and like I'm always showing, you can see that especially when there's a light cloud coverage, you can see the disc behind it. You can see it's silver. You can see the perfect outline of it. I mean, it looks exactly like a lens that they obviously can shine, because this is all a projection. They know how to work the system, so they know how to use these things and project them and stuff. So two of the things I saw. So this one was, he showed the footage and he looked up at the clouds and he's looking at the thing that looks like a sun. And then right next to it, there's another one. There was two right next to each other. And he clearly showed the footage of it. So, but so many people don't look up. And then the thing's so bright, it's hard. It hurts your eyes. And then I saw another guy, and he was showing them spraying, and they were going over they were by the sun. And so he was showing, and he, I would say most of the conspiracy theorists at this point are flat earthers. I mean, I think flat earth is becoming pretty mainstream at this point. I don't think that people are being laughed at anymore when you say, I mean, there could be a certain group of people that you could say it to and they would think you're a fool. But the general consensus of the people who are awakening, who are paying attention, who are researching, have all come to the same conclusion that this is flat earth, and they're lying and about a lot of stuff. And so he's showing the chemtrail thing, and then the plane disappeared behind the sun, and then it came out on the other side, and the sun looked huge, really huge. But all in all the comments, there were people were like, oh no, it just looks like that, the sun's 91 million miles away, couldn't. And then other people were like, well, that proves the sun's not that far away, is it? So that's the thing. Is that like in the Truman Show? I mean, he was living that whole world and didn't question it. I mean, just accepted the sun and the moon and all of the things. And that is what we all do. We just accept it. We don't go question. We don't walk outside every day. Is there two? Is there one? Where's the moon? Where's the sun? Is a plane flying in front of it, behind it? What's happening? But that's how fake this world is. And we're just now waking up to see that it's this fake. It's super crazy when you just realize how freaking fake this is. Like that's another thing to me. It has to be the absurdity. The two right next to each other it's got to be just to keep trying to catch people's attention and make something so outrageous that they go like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. What? Isn't there just one sun? You know what I mean? So it's everything happening is so people will question their reality. And so if you've already questioned your reality, you already know what's going on. You already have seen through the bullshit, the propaganda, the nonsense that's happening here. That's why it's so vital for you to just be working on yourself, because that's what everything is all about. Everything happening is to wake people up so that they get the opportunity to work on themselves. Because whatever's happening, this cosmic event that is happening, that is going to change everything, it's super important for you to be in a spiritual way of being, a spiritual way of existing. I saw this, and this could be a clip from a movie, I'm not sure. It was just a cool video, and it just shows this old woman, just her face way up close, and she was talking, and she said that the devil doesn't The devil likes it when you just have an easy, simple life with no problems, because that keeps you from going towards God. And that is what I keep saying. All of this is a come to Jesus moment. Everything bad happening is what forces people to question things, question the reality, question, what is God? Where am I? What does this all mean? What is the point of this? And that's what everything happening is for. Even though it seems horrible and traumatic and just it's draining when you pay attention to all of the horrible tragedies happening. And I knew this was coming. Like, I've known for a few years that this was going to be happening. And it is hard. It's horrible to watch. But when you are awake and you are aware, the most important thing to do for you is to be working on yourself, to really trying to connect with your higher self, to try and understand your own purpose and what you're doing and what you're here to heal, and how you can, because all of that is raising your vibration. I mean, it's sad how some people just jump onto the little, so if I just do these, then I'm the super spiritual person, which, last week, or I don't know, sometime in the near past, I was talking about the spiritual community and how it really started rubbing me the wrong way when I was waking up and I was beginning to question things and trying to figure out what the fuck was going on. And that's when I started watching YouTube all the time. And when I started seeing how many people were charging like, they'll be your coach, they'll help you through this or whatever. And when I was talking about it the other day, it was because I had seen a prepper guy. I'm not really sure. I think he's a prepper guy because he talks a lot about prep stuff, and like he'll show how to make a generator out of like a light bulb and stuff like that. So like he's one of those people that can show all that stuff. But one day he was on a rant and he was like really irritated because he said all of these preppers now are charging people to give them ideas like, do this and do that. Like they're just charging people. And he felt about it the same way as me. Like, this kind of information should be free. Like, you're trying to profit off of something that shouldn't be profit off of. And that is you being a part of this system. If you're trying to profit off of something like resources and information, then you are part of the problem. You're part of the system. You've got an attachment to the system that you don't have awareness of or something, because that's not the natural way. That's not like by God's law. God's law would be about everything is free. It's about unity. It's about love. It's about acceptance. It's about coming together. It's not about hierarchy. Hey, I've got the information. You want it? Pay for it, bitch. That's an attitude. And I completely get, that there's a lot of people who, that they need to make money off of it or something. I just think when you're doing the right thing, the universe does the right thing back. You will be taken care of. Like, I'm always taken care of. I always have enough, and I know that, sometimes you want to have more than enough. You want to have like a surplus, and that's each person's own thing. I do believe that when you trust the universe and you know that they're always going to take care of you and they're always going to make sure, then you put that trust in them, they will do it. If you're always thinking, I'm not going to get it, I won't have this, I won't have that, and you just hyper focus on it, then you won't. It's all about this trust. It's about this. That's what manifesting is all about. And, it's all about just seeing it the way you want it to be. Whether it's looking at it in your head or looking at it, like a lot of times I look at something visually with my eyes, only I don't look at it and see what's there. I see what I want to be there. So I look at it and I see how I want it to be. But then you can also do that just in your head, visualize. Because one thing too, like before I go to the thrift store, whatever I'm looking for, I'll visualize it. Picture what it is that you want. Picture what it is you're looking for. And you don't have to sit there and think of like, how am I going to get this or whatever. Like, you don't have to do that. That's where you need to stop. That's where you start interfering with the universe being able to bring something to you is you start giving them the parameters. Okay, well, if we did this and this, if I win the lottery, then, because they can do all sorts of things, but you just have to give your trust and believe. And then when things don't go the way you expect, know that there's a lesson there that you're supposed to learn, go through the lesson, and then get back on track. It's don't get overtaken by the obstacles. Let the obstacles come in, because they're there for you to learn and grow from. So allow the obstacle to come in, even if it wasn't something you expected or it wasn't what you were manifesting, and it still came. It's releasing, it's taking away the blockages. So, it's just something for you to, just as you're doing your healing, start noticing that stuff. Notice what you visualize. Notice how your attitude, what is your expectation? What are you expecting? Are you expecting everything to fall apart? Are you expecting everything to go good? Are you expecting blessings? Or expecting tragedies? Just figure out, be aware of how you're looking at things. I think so much has to do with our awareness. But anyways, through this stuff, while everything just keeps dragging out, it's like a new revived 2020. The vision for some is becoming quite clear. So, and who knows how long this is going to go. I mean, I swear to God, no way would I've ever thought we would be 2022, in the middle of 2022 in this situation. This is just nutty as hell. So, and another thing too, I'm going to go up the food bank today, and I had opened one of those things for Stella. I just got to say this too. So, at the food bank, there's lots of canned food and dried beans, and up here they have a lot of, produce even. But a lot of this stuff is they've got packaged foods, packaged food is never what you want to do. You want to try and get your food the most clean. You cook your food. Don't get the packages. The packaged foods have so much chemicals and shit. But they had some those little beef stew packages, and this chicken Alfredo. And they're in these flat tin things or something. So I was like, well, I'll get some of those, because, if I can't get Stella meat, then this is, the best option to have is some of these. And this chicken Alfredo, I just have to say, the beef stew was disgusting. It is like tomato soup with some chunks of something in it. I don't know. It does not look like beef stew, though. And this chicken Alfredo, it looks like mushy, and it smells like tuna, like the really mushy, cat foodish looking tuna. And the thing that is gross, this is for human consumption. This is what they are giving people who are poor to eat. It's this is fucking disgusting. This is so disgusting. This system. But people who are poor, people who are homeless, people who are disabled, people who are against the system, they've got no room for them. All they want is compliant people who don't question, who will do what they're told, who will work hard, and are willing to accept abuse, basically. If you're willing to accept abuse, this government's got a great relationship for you. So, anyways, I might come back and talk some more today. It just seems like that there's just nothing. It just seems like it just keeps dragging and dragging. And it just, any time that it's dragging, it is your value to use for yourself, for your own growth and your own productivity, to get to where you want to be, how you want to be presenting yourself. And that is everything in the world, what do you see for your future? How do you see your future playing out? And how do you focus? What energy do you put in? Just like with all of these rocks and stuff, they can give me the rocks, but I got to do the work. And that's the thing. Everybody has to see the universe can give you what you want, but sometimes there's work. Just like when they gave me that dresser sitting out there, that I kept seeing that dresser in that room. I kept looking in that room and seeing that dresser and seeing that dresser. Then I go out for a walk one day and there's the dresser sitting down at the end of somebody's driveway. I just went and got it. And I had to sand it, I had to clean it, and I had to stain it, but it's beautiful now. And it's the dresser that I kept picturing. So sometimes you have a little work. Don't think like they're just gonna come, like everybody just thinks, oh, the universe, if it loves me enough, it'll give me the lottery. I'll win the lottery. But the universe knows that's not what life's all about. So know what you're asking for. Know what the universe is all about. Get in touch with yourself and you'll know a lot more. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.